Good morning. Good morning. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show. My name is Andre Hill Sr. and my co-host Andre Hill Jr. We are expecting Tony Hart to come in, one of our future community captains and ambassadors to the world. Hopefully he'll be in shortly. I posted some things last night on Facebook on the topics for the day. And it went like this. Okay, of course, Tony Hart he and I will be discussing the need for community captains. Community captains will assist in protecting our people from murder, from female sex trade, encourage economic empowerment, and create a political voting bloc. All of these things are lacking in our community. We don't have any serious leadership in our community. We're scattered, we're separated, and we're being dished and shut down. Okay, and also, this is the one that went down, man. With I couldn't wait to get started on this one. All right, so
can they hear me? Can you hear me in this mic?
I can.
Okay.
All right. So all right, so I said find out. So the political vote. So we're going to inform people how to sign up as a community captain.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we're going to give Tony a chance to get in here. If not, we're going to circle back around to it. All right. So also I posted our African queen. I call her a queen because, man, I watched the video on her, the second video. So they blocked it.
Which one? The first or the second?
They blocked the first one. So. Facebook and this censorship, man, this is no different from, a communist or, I mean, come on, man. I thought we was in the country of freedom of speech.
They're like, no.
Yeah. All
right.
right.
Platforms talking bad about us? Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Stella Emanuel and Japan's Dr. Tatsuko Hanyo are being subjected to censorship for telling the truth. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. These are the topics. Also, $2 billion being appropriated to two firms for vaccines.
$2 billion.
$2 billion. And so I made the comment: when you are seeking or when you want to know who the perpetrator is for a crime,
follow the money.
All right.
And see who stands to benefit.
Who stands to benefit? That'll take you right back to the criminal that committed this. Because now, Dr. Tatsuko Hanyo, now, check this out. Now, he shared a Nobel Peace Prize in physiology or medicine. Mm-hmm. All right? And he's basically saying that this virus, I still think is a bacteria with wings, is not natural because it struck all over the planet, with different weather, with different temperatures. And so if it would have struck and then spread it in a different manner, so it hit the same way it did in a cold climate that it did in a hot climate. And the temperature has an effect on the effectiveness and aggressiveness of a virus or a vaccine. A bacteria.
Or a virus or a bacteria.
Yeah. All right. So, once again, the other deal is we have suggestions on how to survive COVID-19. Now, our suggestions, and I'm going to circle back around to this because I'm going back up to the top of the show, top of the list. We have an organization. It's called Urban Progress Alliance. It's an organization that refused to be compromised, just like Dr. Stella Emanuel. When she was being interviewed, the guy said, well, the things you're saying, they're going to come after your license. She said, well, bring it. They're going to come after my license because I want to stop people from dying? Then bring it. So that's the UPA spirit,
Indeed.
Yeah, so we I thought I saw. So, no. So we at UPA, we are developing a newsletter. And the newsletter is going to give you constant, we can't say medical information, but natural remedies to help you fight the COVID virus. Now, I'm up in age. I have pre-existing conditions, and I'm doing fine because anytime I find something coming on, like scratchiness in my throat, or if I start sneezing, I immediately go to these remedies and start ingesting them to boost my immune system. That's what it's all about. This virus is a nuisance virus, but it's weak. And all you have to do is boost your immune system.
What's a short list of the stuff we got out the house that you use to help boost your immune system?
So the short list is vitamin C and zinc. All right, but there are other things you want to alternate and rotate. Now, what Dr. Stella was talking about until they blocked her, and she had several Caucasians doctors behind her, but they was quiet as church mice.
They was quiet. I thought they were security. They were just back there.
Yeah, you know, but that sister, man, she stood out. She said, "Hey, this some bull fracking, and I ain't going along with it. I don't care about this medical license. You know, her purpose. She's a true doctor. She's not in it. I don't know her yet because I do intend to bring her on the show and reach out to her. But I don't believe she's in it for the money, the way she projected herself.
Right.
You know, so we need to pay attention. Why did Facebook, and not only Facebook, but the internet, they erased that video of her explaining several components that I'm going to talk about here, you know, in just a few seconds. Okay, so again, Dr. Tatsuko Hanyo, he's basically saying that it's an unnatural virus, and that all the scientists that he knew that worked in China on this particular virus no longer answering their cell phones, so they're probably dead or hiding. They probably turned those phones off so they can't be tracked. Exactly. You know, and they took their money for whoever paid them. Yeah. And so, you know, so I'm going to be all over the place. So, you know, right now, because one of the key things that Dr. Stella Emanuel said, you know, she believes that, you know, and the same as I do, the same mindset of white supremacy from Nazi Germany, who we thought we defeated in World War II. All they did was disperse. Some of them went to Russia. A lot of those scientists came to the United States, and a lot of them went to South America. And so they still are being backed. And I talked about this guy last week, the general. Yeah, and the other Andre's son, he'll be on next week. We're gonna talk about specifically about the general and his agenda. But all this general does, and he's very old. And when I say old, he's 600 or 700 years old. And so people are gonna say, "Oh no, there you go talking that crazy stuff." But if you go look in the Bible in Genesis, people live to be 800 years old. So why all of a sudden, you know, which all things are possible in the universe, that you know, that mindset, that's impossible. No, it's not impossible. Yeah, it's not impossible. But this general has been around a long time, and if you look at the sequence of history, he was back during the time when the Catholic Church, you know, he had influence on the Catholic Church along with the other group. Also, the Greys. They had a real strong influence on the Catholic Church, and they're the ones that manipulated the Italians and Spain and the Spanish into, we're going to give you this power, we're going to give you this technology in exchange for your loyalty for all of the creating mishap and mayhem and racism all over the planet. So so that general has been around that long. So now they're gonna. I hear what you're saying, and especially to you people that read the Bible, you know, and subscribe to it all the time. That at one point in Genesis, people lived as much as 800 years. Yeah, but what happened? So when that entity came on the scene, they started coming up with mechanisms to cut that lifespan, because then they know that, hell, I'm in my 60s and I'm awakened, and I'm no longer going to go along with some bull crap, and you, my son, you have my age, and you're awakened. So they know that if you live 100 years, 150 years, and you still got decent health.
Right, and stamina.
Yeah.
You can affect some change.
All right. Okay, so we're still waiting on Tony to get here, and we'll talk about whenever he gets in, we'll circle back around to the community captains. So now let's go on to Dr. Stella. Yeah. All right, because I thought this was, the most fantastic situation. So Dr. Stella, again, she claimed, that Nazis were involved, that they are intentionally murdering our people. Black people are dying. I have lost 10 or 15 friends in the last couple of months, and, I reached out, some of them I reached out to, some of them I didn't, and all they had to do was get involved with the UPA program, and we would have put them on a regiment where they did not have to die. Yeah.
I mean, even for me, it wasn't until very recent that this whole COVID thing got close proximity to me. In other words, started affecting really close family members and family members of friends and such, and some people are dying. And so when I started asking one question, I said, where did they die? Were they dying in the hospital? Were they dying at home? Just trying to figure out some kind of demographic to this thing. But like you said, we could have put them on a regimen that had got them to better health in due time before it took them out.
So, you were still in Nashville. When I returned home 8 years ago, I talked to some of my classmates that was in the nursing industry. All right. They were nurses with tenure, as you would say.
Right.
All right. And so all of a sudden, they were being eradicated from the medical industry because they've been around a while.
Right.
All right. And some of the tactics that were being used to get them out. And then what they were doing was replacing them with sisters or people from outside the country, and they were giving them somewhat conditional visas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so they knew that these women or men would be so happy to get American citizenship that they were not going to put their visa or, in jeopardy
at risk,
by telling the people what the hospital industry and the dark side of the medical industry was planning with this genocide. So we're gonna bring it all in perspective. So that's why I really have the ultimate respect for Stella Emanuel, because I don't know what her immigration status is, but but these entities, they're notorious. I just had a recent incident. People that work in academia, they can't associate with organizations that's dealing with the truth. Their jobs are threatened. And so what I'm really going to reach out to say to our community, people like Stella Emanuel. Now, she's got some other issues that people are really going to be concerned with, and I read and studied them. I'm going to comment with them in a minute. But black people, Caucasian people that's tired of the bullfracking. The first layer of Caucasian people, if you're not blind and blue-eyed, you're just being used until they can eliminate everybody else before they eliminate you, okay? To blind and blue-eyed Caucasians, you're being manipulated thinking that you're superior, or you've been programmed that because you have blind, blue-eyed, you're pure in heart, you're pure in all of this and that. No, you are a subject. And the general's civilization needs your eggs to sustain them. They still look at you. If you have hair on your head, they still look at you as monkeys. And that was one of the things I was going to talk about with the Catholic Church, with the Greys, and then the so-called Illuminati with the tall whites who promote racism, Nazis, and all that other crazy stuff. All right. So at one point, the Italians, when they got their Catholic Church from the Greys, which are those little really nasty little aliens, okay, they started referring to the Spanish as monkeys.
Oh, okay.
All right. And that's all because Africans had, black Nubian men and women had infiltrated, Spain, and so that's why they have nice complexions.
Yeah.
Even the Italians have nice complexions, but the idiocy behind this is you got more than we do, and that's where the Inquisition came in with Queen Isabella. All right, to get the Moors, the blackamoors, out of the country, because that same entity, the general, and his crew, his predecessors, said that in order for us to control this planet, we're going to have to develop racism so that the eggs that we would need will not be contaminated with the original DNA of this planet, which is the Nubian black people. Yeah. All right. So I told you I was going to be all over the place.
That's all good.
Because I'm putting it out there in different settings. I want our people to wake up.
I feel you.
All right. It's somebody posted something with, would you, for $20 billion, would you sleep in a cemetery? I said, we're sleeping in a cemetery every night because black people are asleep. They're spiritually dead.
Exactly.
So I'm doing that every night. So, okay. All right. So let's circle back around to our sister Stella. Here's what they said. So they linked her with Trump, and they did that as out of desperation, to try to discredit her. They're trying to find things to discredit her, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I'm gonna say this: I don't agree with everything she said, but I agree with most of what she said. Okay. So if she's backing something, and I'm gonna wait until I meet with her to find out what the real truth is. But this is what was printed. It says she believes that gynecological problems are caused by people dreaming about having sex with demons and witches. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So now, in the Bible, so we got to deal with that mindset. I cannot just ignore my black people who read the Bible. Right. But even the so-called Christ cast demon spirits into the pigs.
Yeah.
All right. These are scriptures, right? All right. So there is a realm where some spirits have done such hideous things on this planet. When they cross over, they're in a realm of confusion, and that's all because of bad karma. What you bestow on others shall be bestowed on you. And so these spirits know that they're getting ready to pay a loan debt back to society. If you're a blonde, blue-eyed racist or any kind of racist, and you've done some horrible things to people, you're coming back in the next life to walk a mile in the shoes of that. So before, you're getting ready to incarnate into something really horrible. You're not going to go down in a hole in hell and be chasing around with a big man with a pickfork, okay? You're coming back, folks. All right, so some of those spirits will try to possess, a weak human. If you're weak, in terms of your spirituality, you've been beat down. These spirits, they don't want to give up having that feel of touch, of sex, or drugs.
Right.
All right? So they try, they may come back, or they have different ways of trying to remanifest and avoid or extend themselves from having payback. All right, so that's a little complicated. I'm not going to go into that. Witches, demons, and witches. Well, I think witches, just like supernatural gods, are extraterrestrials that use advanced technology to create illusions. So,
I mean, well, I would say let's look at what religion Stella Emanuel practices first and foremost, so we can get an idea of what she considers demons and witches. Now, I'm going to assume a lot of things right now. Everything regarding Sister Emanuel, I'm just going to assume some stuff. I'll be honest with you, let alone this morning, over the last week, I didn't do some very thorough research on her other than seeing some stuff here and there about her. Either way, so we're doing a lot of speculation this morning. But I'm just going to assume she's probably of some kind of major religious. In other words, she's either Catholic or she's Christian. One of the two.
She's Christian because she did mention the name Jesus.
Okay, so she's Christian. All right, so that's fine. So, in Christian context, demons, witches, some of them were supernatural. Some of them were just everyday people walking around. Some of them were celebrities, right? So, we don't know exactly what she meant. But, again, if I was going to speculate, I would just say she meant people dreaming about having sex with somebody probably on the physical realm, probably a natural person, but maybe in some kind of status, but with who's just just vibrating very lowly, right? Could be they pastor in their church, right? Something like that, or something, just somebody who's just parasitic in nature at the moment, and that is who she considers a demon or a witch. And so she say, hey, all of you people that are lusting after these type of people, everything starts with energy. so you are developing complications and problems within your own body based off your own energy output innately. That was my interpretation of what she said.
All right. All right. So, here's the next. Okay, there's two more points. Scientists are making a vaccine to stop people from being religious. Now, that's a part that I think, okay, now she was born in 1965, which is the year of the snake. And people born in the year of the snake are clairvoyant. Yeah. All right? They have supernatural skills to see the future and the past. So if you were born in 1953, 1965, 1977, what was after that? 1989. Okay, you have this ability. You have dreams. You can see things, and that's not demonic. It's not evil. It's just an ability given you because that's what you offer to the collective. You offer
to the ecosystem here,
right? Yeah, because you can see things and warn your community, this is what I saw. And so that means that, if you are a seer like that, people need to pay attention, So, I mean, I have dreams. I've had dreams and warnings of family members that were going to die. And I have one of that in my mathematical calculation, an element that gives me that sort of vision. Right. So it's nothing to be cursed. It's not demonic. It's just the way the universe finds balance. Yeah. All right. So
wait. So scientists are making a vaccine to stop people from being religious.
Yeah. I had what?
Okay. Again, we speculating. All of this is none of this is everything me and Pops are saying right now. This is all speculation. These are not facts, and we're not standing on it or validating or nothing like that. We're just stating opinions right now. But when she says scientists are making vaccines to stop people from being religious, I interpret that as this. Seeing as she is religious, I believe she's saying they're making vaccines to stop people from being spiritual in general.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Regardless of, how you may express that. Because there's many different religions, a whole lot of schools of thought and spirituality. And I'm thinking that, she's saying they are lacing these vaccines on a molecular level with things that will disconnect you or shut down particular parts of your body that connect with the quote unquote spiritual realm.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation.
Well, and I agree with you, and here's why. Because just like in the school system, when they start realizing that black children were going to evolve, they start dumbing them down.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
start messing with the curriculum. So what I read in this is a biological attack on our DNA to dumb us down, to shut down the portals of our spiritual evolution. Yeah. So I get I get what you're saying on that. All right. But we're working on getting an audience with her. All right. She says the U.S. government is partly run by lizard people.
Yo, I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Give me your take, because my take, I'm gonna take it to a whole nother level.
I got you. Hey, listen, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I believe, and again, that's a key word. That's believe. Do I have any proof? No, but whatever. A lot of us believe a lot of stuff we ain't got no proof of. But I ain't got no proof of this. But lizard people would be who they call reptilians, right? And there's a lot of information, a lot of history. I'm not gonna say history and information that is validated in mainstream media, mainstream academia, mainstream anything about reptilians. But even if you look in the Bible, you'll hear references to reptilians. If you look in most religions, there are references to reptilian deities, entities. Now, as of recent, there's a lot of what they would call conspiracy theory information out there talking about the reptilians. There's a guy, what's his name, David Icke, out of what was he from Europe? He's got a whole religion based on this. And you're talking about a lot of people follow it since the 90s. Claiming different experiences and and sightings and whatever have you. And the whole premise behind it is, the reptilians, aka lizard people, are they more advanced than most humans, more intelligent than most humans, more cunning, and they run a secret shadow government on the whole planet, let alone just America.
Absolutely. Okay, so here again. Okay, I started out with the so-called King James Holy Bible as a child,
Right.
but that was metaphors and fairy tales. That was based on truth. Now, some truth. But then, as I matured as a man, I started studying more. So I went from kindergarten to work on my PhD in spirituality. So I'm way beyond it. But still, in the metaphor, in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden,
that's the main one.
it said it didn't say reptile.
What says serpent?
The serpent,
At the serpent.
okay, was more subtle, which means it had intelligence. It had the ability to speak, okay, than the rest of the beasts in the garden. So,
I mean, cut you out. Especially subtle. Again, subtlety means to, be unnoticing. And again, you don't see a whole lot of reptiles either, whatever. But the point is, they don't mind hiding. That's the whole thing. They want to remain stealthy. And that's how the serpent in the garden was described.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the reptile.
Yeah. There's once we come off, I want you to keep going, possible. Once we come off from break, there's another whole book in the Bible that speaks a little bit more extensively on reptiles. But go ahead.
Well, so all I'm saying is the reason this can be true is that supposedly in the Bible, the serpent was cursed to crawl on his belly. So my interpretation of that was, because humanoids were tagged as the dominant species on this planet, we could not compete with velociraptors.
Not in that form.
No. So there had to be an adjustment. Okay, so we're going to break. I got to
Indeed.
talk about the Velociraptors when we
Indeed.
come back.
Indeed.
Stay tuned. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show. We're bringing the knowledge in the house. We'll be right back.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. Separated. We were able to get in touch with each other and had no idea how to find each other. The whole experience was the most frightening 10 hours of my life. I offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan. Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Smoothing out your favorite R&B flavors.
What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor.
In Touch Radio.
All right, okay. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show, and this is Andre Hill Sr. and my co-host Andre Hill Jr. And Tony Hart he's not here yet. So we're still waiting on him. So where I was leaving off with the so-called curse on the serpent as described in the Bible. So as humanoids were determined or tagged as the dominant species on the surface, all right, they had to play it off to try to create kind of an illusion that the serpent was cursed to crawl on his belly. No, what happened was there was an agreement that if the humans are going to be the dominant species, you can't no way we're going to be able to compete with a T-Rex or a Velociraptor. They were critical thinkers. They would tear us apart. And because our DNA was designed and redeveloped to create the type of bodies that we have for a particular experience. You get experiences from us that is difficult to get from a Velociraptor. They are programmed to hunt and survive. You know, in terms of a social structure, it was all about hunting and surviving. So what happened? There was an agreement that only reptiles that crawled on their belly that would give us some kind of an advantage to be able to outmaneuver.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Yeah, and in order for us to maintain our dominant status, but the reptiles are still on this planet, and there are an intelligent component of them, and I think this is where the metaphor of hell came from, because a lot of them are operated within the caverns.
Yeah, and underground.
In the underground.
Yeah.
And so when they came back, even in the case of the Garden of Eden, when they were forced underground,
right?
There was a apocalypse situation went on, whether it was a meteorite or they was just attacked by other extraterrestrials to exterminate them.
Or they chose to go underground, go along with the experiment.
Yeah. But then when they creeped back to the surface, that's when they found out the humanoid was spreading all over the planet. And that's when they were once again checked. And so they are stealthy and they have organized. And yes, there is a 99% chance that they are influencing our government along with other extraterrestrial entities. And I believe, again, the general and his crew has cut a deal with our United States government, our industrial military war complex. And this is why we're having this problem. This same entity is promoting the Nazi agenda one more time. Now, this is the World War I was started with the Nazi agenda. World War II with that white supremacy agenda to exterminate the African, the black DNA from this planet. Now, this is 3 strikes you out. So now here's something I got to say that I did not get a chance to say on the last show when I was talking about the sister that work in academia. Was just, well, they got us surrounded. Well, the same thing happened in World War II. They had the technology. They had us surrounded, but there was intervention because the humans of Earth said, we need to come together. That's where the alliance came from.
Oh, okay, my bad. I was looking for dragons in the book of Revelations while you were talking. So I was listening to you with divided attention. But go back real quick. What are you talking about when you say some people in academia saying they're surrounded? What do you mean?
So I had this conversation with a sister in academia, and her assessment of our situation was that we're outgunned. We just, even though we outnumber.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So she's not saying they're surrounded in the professional arena in academia.
No, she's saying they control
us as a people.
No, she's saying they control the media. Yeah. They're controlling the banking systems. They're controlling the narrative in terms of human evolution.
You know what's fun? So technically they don't control the media. We just allow them to. We allow them to by habit because we're just so used to using a particular platform, particular application, or looking at TV a certain way, or listening to whatever a certain kind of way. And it's just simply this. If you just withdraw, but it takes a collective of people. That's just the problem. That's where most of the control is. That's where most of the emphasis is put on us from them to control is our habitual ways. And that's all we is creatures of habit. So as long as we don't never break the break the continuous habit of being like, all right, well, I'm going to do everything on Facebook. But when a up and coming app developer creates an app and it takes time to develop an app, his app ain't gonna be as good as Facebook for at least 5 years. But you won't make the sacrifice to say, all right, well, we ain't gonna mess with this application or this thing for at least until we see some kind of justification, and we gonna put all our energy over here into this developer's platform, and be consistent with it, but be prepared for him to be attacked too. But you've got a collective. That's where the most of the control is.
That's a good point.
There was another point you hit on. The media and what else? What else you say?
Well, the economic.
Oh yeah, the economic system. I mean, at this point, it's the same analogy. You have a habit of working. But you have a habit of exchanging energy, aka a job, for a piece of paper with a dead Caucasian man's face on it. And I emphasize a Caucasian man's face is because I know most Americans, if somebody's going to pay you in francs, you wouldn't take it. If somebody's going to pay you in some paper with a little black girl's face on it, you wouldn't take it. I understand why, because you feel like you can't take that nowhere and cash out. But the point is, we the ones that support the economic system. They don't control it. We the ones that's using it. So if we say, well, we ain't using that no more. I don't even want none of that. I don't want no American dollars. It's like I'd barter for 5 years before I spend some money. I mean, and I know that's just that's a reaching hypothetical, but it's possible. It's possible. And again, it's just we're just so so caught up in the habit, unwilling to make the sacrifices that a movement take.
Minor sacrifices.
Minor sacrifices.
Yeah,
You're right. They're not. It's not something that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not. It won't even be that painful. Maybe a little uncomfortable, and that's only because you ain't used to it. But I mean, it can easily be done.
Okay, so what really won World War II was that all the humans came together and said, this Nazi agenda is wrong.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And just
you're
by
right.
making that statement, I mean, different people that got it. Well, I ain't blind, blue-eyed. Hitler said, we're going to kill off everybody and create a master race of only blind, blue-eyed people. So people woke up and
redheads,
said,
brunettes, all of them. They like...
This is the same narrative all over again. It's the same frackernackle, bull frackernackle. And here we are, once again, you know, there is a old saying, and where is it? Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Here we are. We need to remember what was done, not just for the Jews that was exterminated.
Right.
There were people all over all over the world that was exterminated. So we need to the Jews need to kick some money in and show the collective effort of other people that were exterminated as well. So that's the way you teach that truth, and then we won't repeat the history. But once again, when we came together as a species against the Nazi agenda, which is back in power again, that's back in Congress, that's controlling the narrative from South America all over this planet, when we come together as one species and said, we're not going along with this.
We just ain't fooling with it.
Right. Even though they have all the technology that we paid for, okay, with our blood, sweat, and tears, our ancestors, our guardians will override them and assist us in defeating this genocide, this worldwide genocide once again.
Indeed.
It's that simple.
It is that simple.
Get rid of these minor differences.
Yeah. And let's clarify the technology aspect, because a lot of people tend to fear what they think technology is capable of, but it just goes back to the point I was making earlier. The technology, all of it, mind you, technology has to be built, and technology has to be built by somebody, until they start building robots, whatever. But the point is, the technology is used for you, so it doesn't work unless you using it, right? So now the only other time the technology is a true threat to you, and a lot of people are concerned with this is, the military's got big guns that they gonna shoot at the public if we don't do what the government say. But let's just remember, at this point, most of the military are people still. It ain't like it's our robot or Terminator right now. You see what I'm saying? So at the moment, let's just turn up the volume on the vibrations. There's a lot of people in the military that's woke too. To be honest with you, I see them all the time. I see veterans and people who just got out the military recently. They've got their opinion on this movement, and it's very similar to
they're being treated like dogs.
And then that's another thing.
They put their lives on the line, and then they come home and the Veterans Administration dogging them out.
So some of them getting real woke right now, real quick. And so the point is, there's not much to fear, family. There's not a whole lot to fear. All you got to do is just stand up, and you'll see how short parasitic entities are.
All right. So, for those, we're getting short in time, but if you still want to call in, 813-444-9588. Also, a reminder, later on around 11:30, I'm going to be headed up to Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food at 2302 East 7th Avenue. Again, we only need to spend our money with cultures and businesses that are reciprocating in our community. And I'm going to tell you why one more time, and I'm going to try to speak in all 144 different languages so that you can understand the seriousness of our situation. Right now, Al is only open on Saturdays and Sundays. I've been talking to Jackie, and she's they're looking at Fridays, and you can give them a call. Just call in. Don't order from anywhere else. This is another sacrifice.
Again,
okay?
Habits right here.
Yeah.
This is how you break them.
Give them a call. Put your order in on Saturdays and Sundays at 813-515-5036. Or just stop by there at 2302 East 7th Avenue. It's right there, one block east of 22nd Street on Broadway on 7th Avenue, and it's on the left-hand side across from the Broadway bar. And going in there. So some of the listeners, all the listeners that went in and let them know that you heard it on the Straight Talk Morning Show, I really appreciate that, because the way Facebook be doing stuff, they're not going to show the true numbers of our people that are listening to the show, because they don't want us to continue telling the truth. They know when we get the numbers, we get sponsorships, and that means that our platform can expand.
Exactly.
So go in there, tell them you heard it on the Straight Talk Morning Show. Just put an order in. Just go order some macaroni and cheese if you don't have a whole lot of money. That'll feed you. The food is good. The decor is beautiful. They got a deck out back. We're going to be having some events there coming up in the very near future. Also, listen, black folks, UPA Urban Progress Alliance is working on a serious economic empowerment cultural movement. It's called a Gateway to Africa and the Caribbean. In order for us to make this happen for our children, we need you to go to our website. It's UPAALL. That's like UPAall.com. Just sign up. Put your name in. Let us know what your concerns are. Let us know you would like to receive our newsletter that's going to be coming out, give you information on how to survive the COVID virus, where our resources are going to come from, who we're going to eat with, who we're going to vote for, who's attacking our community. That's what this is all about. If you want to be a community captain, sign up. Go to UPAALL.com. And I know Brenda, the president, is listening. And Brenda, I did not write the office number down so that I could call it out. But please remind me next time to make sure I write it down on my sheets. So but go to UPAALL.com. Even though Tampa is the epicenter, this is an international movement. This is where we're going to get our own resources, our own internet, our own satellites, our own food source. Our children, our babies, all of them have the natural God-given capabilities. We know what they are. We know how to find them. We know how to nurture these children, to give them an equal and equitable opportunity at the prosperity of our paradise right here on this planet Earth. But we cannot do it if you sit back. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. Just go to you. It's very simple. U as urban, P as in progress, A as an alliance. UPAALL. That's like UPA all day long. ALL.com. Sign up with us. Tell us you want a newsletter. Tell us you have a child or a son or a daughter that ain't on task or direction with anything, and they need some mentorship. Tell us whatever. We will address the issue, because we're not in this so that we can individually say, I want to have a mansion with 30 rooms, and I want a Bentley, and I want a Learjet. Well, for what? To be controlled like a slave? No, that is not our purpose. That is not our mission. Our agenda is empowerment, spiritual and economic empowerment for our people. And then once that happens, we can help the rest of the world. But we got to fix us first. Caucasian people, that know what's going down, you can participate too. Donate your resources. Some of you got black children in your family. You're no longer part of the white supremacy agenda when they find out you have black children in your family. So you now are a black person, theoretically. So send your money, send your resources, get involved with us. We're not retaliating. We know who the perpetrator is.
Right.
And next week, the other Andre, my other Andre son, we're going to be talking about the general. We're going to tell you who he is, why the general lived to be 600 or 700 years old, and how we're going to shut down this madness. And listen, folks, we don't need to get mad at the general. He's a subcontractor. He was hired by our parents to teach us a lesson, to learn how to love each other. It ain't complicated. This is simple. All right. So I had to get that out of the way. Now, one of the other things that I want to discuss about the community captains. Tony didn't make it in again. We're going to give Tony the opportunity to come in at another time.
Yeah.
But here are the statistics, folks. Okay, 1 in 3 black males will go to prison.
1 in 3.
1 in 3 black males will go to prison. 40% of the prison population is black men and women. 40%. We only represent, according to them, 14 to 20% of the population. I think it's more.
Yeah.
But so what is that saying to you? That's a racist
a very
agenda.
deliberate racist agenda.
Yes.
That's absolutely.
All right. So we got black female sex trafficking. So listen, folks.
That's listen. Yeah, so between the prison industrial complex that's got half of our folks as the primary cattle, a chattel, or consumer of that, and which is to me is equally as bad or worse is the trafficking of black women. So this is where if we don't stop this here and now, then we're gonna see a snowball effect again. Mostly targeting our children. I don't even have any children yet, but I'm looking out for your children. As far as I'm concerned, your children, anyway, not even as far as I'm concerned. This is real. Your children, my little cousins, little sisters, as far as I'm concerned, little brothers. This is for them. We can't allow an iota of this to develop any further. So, whatever kind of strategies, techniques, collectives we need to put together, develop to stop this hemorrhaging in our communities here and across the planet, which means we're going to have to do some collaboration because it's happening everywhere. But that is first and foremost on our agenda as a people right now.
So, also take in consideration, now that was a horrible stats, but the United States population is only 5% of the Earth's total population.
Gotcha.
Only 5%.
Yeah.
But 25% of the prisons are right here in the United States. So that all of that what does that say? These are concentration camps. Yeah. This has been manipulated by the general, some of the reptilians who control our government, and this is the epicenter of evil right here in our country. Yeah. So it's mandatory that we come together and start working on this project. So we have the project, we have the template, we have a new matrix, we have the new paradigm shift, but it will not work as individuals. It will not work with just a few people. We need the numbers. You are 99% of the population. Okay, let's say you 90% of the population.
That's still 9 to 1.
All you got to do is get with organizations like ours, UPAALL.com. Go to it, check out our website. All you got to do is sign up with us. That gives us the strength and the authority. This is life and death with me. I have a son. The reason he don't have any children right now, because who wants to bring a child into this madness right now? I think that's, and I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. So, I don't want no grandchildren coming into this crap. So that's why I'm putting my life on the line. I'm ready to die for my babies, my future grandbabies and great grandbabies,
yes,
because I don't want them to come back to come into this madness. You got a bunch of mentally deranged, psychotic maniacs controlling our government, controlling these vaccines. This is unnatural. You got all the proof. What more do you need? Come sign up with UPAALL.com. We got the solution to the problem. It ain't complicated. And a lot of you want to say, well, you want to do your own agenda. All praises to the Most High, from which I get my health and strength, and my son as well. We were endowed with certain metaphysical knowledge of how to do this. And we're not harboring it and holding it to ourselves. We want your young baby boys and baby girls to join us, and we're going to teach them this science, because the other religions ain't going to do it without these components. It's plain and clear. They need the additional metaphysical consciousness that we have. We're going to share with our babies for free. We need donations. But if one of your children come to me and say, I need a problem, I can't figure this out, I'm going to talk to them. We're setting up an institution to talk to them. So join us, folks. Get with the program. Hey, next week we're going to deal with some specifics on the general and some other things. Andre Polite, he'll be here, and we'll be rotating the 2 Andres, the 3 Andres. So join us next week, next Saturday, 9 a.m. on the Straight Talk Morning